He's going to talk a little bit about his book and the process and everything like that. So welcome, Al.
Thank you.
And enjoy.
My name is Jackowitz, and I'm an accountant. I mean author. This is new to me, in that what started off as a commercial project, trying to raise some money for myself, has turned into a life-changing event where I'm now an author, and I will never do anything other than this, because it became much more than I anticipated. It's a memoir, and I don't think all books come this easy. And I'm not to say that the quality is, well, you be the judge of the quality, that the way that the information flew out of me, it was cathartic as well as productive, and that I came up with a book without too much, not that long. I tell people I started in July. That's pretty quick. So let me proceed to read some of it to you, and thank you for coming. The title is called No, I'm Not Drunk. Taming My Parkinson's with Music, Humor, and Charity. This is the preface. Whenever I think of memoirs, I think of famous authors with celebrated careers and checkered lives. I do wonder why memoirists are so self-absorbed to think that their lives are that inspiring, interesting, or instructional that someone that they don't even know would drop 15 to 20 bucks to read about them. Some writers, though, write for themselves primarily, and the pleasure they get from knowing that someone enjoys it is secondary. I have a personal story to tell, and I must tell it. It lacks the alcohol of Pete Hamill, the abuse of Angela's Ashes and Mary Carr, the war record of Eisenhower or Churchill, or the profiles of courage of John F. Kennedy. Maybe it doesn't. It's the story of a man, a husband, a father, taking the Parkinson's diagnosis in stride, albeit shuffled, and with the help of music, humor, and charity, makes a difference in the world where he heretofore hadn't. I believe that the progression of my disease has slowed, due in no small part to my glass half full attitude, my looking for silver linings, my tireless efforts in fundraising and awareness, and of course, Cinemed. I'm celebrating the 7-year anniversary of my diagnosis, the day before my 50th birthday. While it has stripped me of my brisk walking pace, my dexterity, and my ability to hit a 12-foot jump shot, that's assuming that I had one before. It has enhanced my stamina and given me a new sense of purpose. I see the world in a new way. Each of us has issues, everybody. My new PD glasses allows me to appreciate people in a more sympathetic way. We know the stories of the famous, we don't know the stories of the person next door. Want to see a hero? Go to Walmart at midnight. The place is populated with African-American children and their mama or grandma doing the shopping because they just got off their second job and have no other time to get their shopping done. This nameless woman is a hero. People have called me heroic, and I've laughed or been embarrassed. My life has facets that are far from heroic, but I live my PD life with humor, energy, music, attitude, and pills. If heroic is too strong a word, then perhaps exemplary might suffice. If I can be an example of how to live a life in PD, then I am honored. Perhaps my posting to Facebook sums me up. I certainly appreciate the concerns that anyone would have, be it medical, emotional, strategic, or otherwise. To ask you to lighten it up a little bit would be doing a disservice to the readers who are educated, appeased, or just informed. Allow me to be the de facto voice of humor and calm in the sea of news clips. War stories on our knees. Hopefully it'll be as helpful to you as it is cathartic for me. To the person who asked, how do people actually die from Parkinson's? Well, not to belittle your question or your desire for the answer, we all want to know. But let's rephrase the question. How do people actually live with Parkinson's? They continue to do the things they always liked. They join support groups, they exercise. They try to make friends with other PDers around the world. They don't ask why me. They laugh when something is funny. They drool. They tremble. They continue to live. That's the practice. For example, during Halloween, I write on Facebook. Facebook has become my outlet prior to this. I said, I just figured out who I'm going to go as for Halloween. I'm going to be Michael J. Fox. I think that's some laughs. The title is No, I'm Not Drunk. I'm walking through the village on Sunday night, July 2013. It's about midnight, and I'm heading home to my sublet in Battery Park. A light rain is falling, not an extraordinary evening, relatively quiet. As I head west on Bleecker Street, I hear music seeping out through the door of Paul Colby's legendary club, The Bitter End. Near LaGuardia, it has been home to Dylan, Joni, Joan Rivers, Woody Allen, Tom Paxton, Van Morrison, and my son, Eric Jackowitz. This night, there's a jam session that seems worthy of my attendance. I open the front door and am greeted by a sign in the vestibule announcing a $6 cover charge. As I reach into my pocket for the money, a large slug of a man sitting on a stool in the vestibule, seemingly the cover-taker velvet rope tender, has an issue with my advancing into the club. He says in a gruff voice that is totally consistent with his Teamster-like appearance, "You're not going in." I can see that the club is not full. My admission denial is based not on the fire marshal's red letter on white oak tag fresco indicating capacity of 194 people. I ask him why. He says, "You're too drunk or stoned." I'm not much of a drinker, and that night I hadn't had any. The last time I was stoned was before Dylan went electric. So I said, "No, I'm not." He insisted that I was. I stopped, looked him directly into his large bloodshot eyes, and explained in a forceful tone, "I am not stoned, nor drunk, nor on mushrooms or any other mind-altering substance. I have Parkinson's disease. The uninformed misread my masked expression as that of drunkenness. Please let me in. Besides, if I'm going to look drunk or stoned, I want to be drunk or stoned." He let me in. The very next week, I read that he died. He fell down the stairs at his club. I guess you could say that he came to his bitter end. New York plays a large part of my life. I was born there. I'm healthier there. I get the pace gives me a jolt, and I feel better there. So I'll read this to you. As you approach New York City from the air, it starts in Philadelphia. By train, it begins at Metro Park. By car, it's Newark Airport. By boat, Perth Amboy. I'm referring, of course, to the palpable adrenaline rush that surges as New York City comes into view and beckons to you. The brain responds in its own language, complete with axons, dendrites, and synapses, that it all translates to dopamine. The story of New York has been told countless times, but New York as medicine, not too often. The tinkling of the piano playing, the first notes of New York, New York. The party line says that Liza Minnelli's version is the title, It's Trite, played out. The party line says, Frank's is the anthem. Liza's is the inspiration. My neck loosens up. Go down to the subway at West 4th, past the guy preparing to take a dump on the platform. Hurry, look across to the uptown trains. Note the trio playing Take the A Train. Maybe they're students from NYU, or the New School, or maybe it's the reincarnation of the Duke himself. They're good. My train arrives. I shuffle to the platform edge and breathe a sigh of relief, and I got in without trouble. I get out of Prospect Park. Suburbia, Celebrate, Brooklyn. Robert Plant is delivering the Zeppelin songbook with other musicians. Page is great, but Billy No Name will suffice. The guitar riff can only mean one thing, whole lot of love. I ain't fooling. I'm walking with a purpose. Go to B-Bar. Matt's holding out court with Paul and Ricky and Nate and Crystal and Francesca, playing Ray Charles, Little Feat, Big Maybell. Then at 2:45, not 2:45, we hear Frank. So send him up, Joe. I'm dancing. Next time I'll have little post-it notes.
We're talking amongst ourselves.
What's that?
We're talking amongst ourselves.
10th Avenue freeze out. Sounds like the Jeopardy answer to what do you call a Parkinson's episode on the west side of Manhattan. The boss, given his playing pool skip in school, acting real cool background, I'm sure that few would have predicted such a high degree of sophistication that his lyrics have morphed into, or the sheer magnitude of community give back his career has allowed him to champion. I don't think he knows this, but he and I go back a long way together. When he was singing about cars and girls in Freehold, New Jersey in 1970, I was singing my bar mitzvah 15 miles up the road in East Brunswick. Whenever I'm asked where I'm from, I always say New York, except that we're talking about Bruce. Dennis Eggs and I. In the summer of '75, Bruce was on the cover of Time and Newsweek. The summer of Bruce culminated with a series of concerts at the Bottom Line in New York City. I was away for the summer.